Chicago's a disaster, and the governor of Illinois should say, President, would you do us the honor of cleaning up our city? We need help. They need help. They need help.
So
We may wait. We may or may not. We may just go in and do it, which is probably what we should do. The problem is, it's not nice when you go in and do it and somebody else is standing there saying, as we give great results, say, we don't want the military. They need help badly. Chicago desperately needs help. As you all know, Chicago's a killing field right now. And they don't acknowledge it. And they say, we don't need him, freedom, freedom. He's a dictator, he's a dictator. A lot of people are saying, maybe we like a dictator. I don't like a dictator. I'm not a dictator. I'm a man with great common sense, and I'm a smart person. And when I see what's happening to our cities, and then you send in troops, instead of being praised, they're saying you're trying to take over the republic. These people are sick. This is a meeting and a group of people that are doing an unbelievable job on a thing called crime, and in particular, violent crime. Today we're going to be discussing it, and I watched as a very incompetent mayor from Chicago said, well, what do they know? They only arrested 9 people. I said, 9 people? We didn't arrest 9 people. We actually arrested a total of well over 1,000 people. We took hundreds of guns away from young kids that were throwing them around like it was candy. We apprehended scores of illegal aliens. We seized dozens of illegal firearms. There have been 0 murders. It sounds sort of terrible to say. It's embarrassing. I did this over the weekend. I'm making a speech, and I acted like I was so proud as I said, we've had 0 murders in the last week. And some of these people were from foreign countries. They said, that doesn't sound so good. And I said, well, it doesn't sound good, but Washington was the most dangerous place in this country, and now, you know what? It's probably the safest place in our country.
In case there was any doubt as to the motivation behind Trump's military occupations, take note. 13 of the top 20 cities in homicide rate have Republican governors. None of these cities is Chicago. 8 of the top 10 states with the highest homicide rates are led by Republicans. None of those states is Illinois. Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here.
Richo, the tough on crime approach from Trump, he said he was going to do it, but some of the controversial approaches with the military use and so on, the National Guard being deployed, doesn't go down well with everyone, particularly Democratic mayors and governors.
No, it won't go down well with them, but I don't think he's terribly worried about them. It's the mob that he cares about, that he needs to get the support of, and I think that they'll react fairly well. I mean, it's a bit early to tell yet, but I suspect they'll react well to this. I mean, I think law and order is a big issue around the world these days, not just in America, everywhere. And I think any government, president, prime minister, whatever, who can get on top of that issue is going to do very well.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Even with the heavy-handed approach, many would, as you say, many would welcome it, given you hear that ridiculous number of homicides. It's appalling.
Joining us live now is Joe Siracusa, who's also from Chicago. So if the Guard was to go in anywhere, Joe, should it be the long-time high-crime city of She-Town?
Well, I don't think so, Pete. You know, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago, just down the block from Leroy Brown and those people. Look, Chicago's a very interesting place for Chicagoans. As soon as you start to introduce federal troops, unless there's a riot or a place is burning down, it's going to be a mistake. Now, keep in mind, Greater Chicago is 9.3 million people. Chicago itself, that's what the president has control over, the ability to go in, is about 2.7 million people, less than Melbourne, as a matter of fact. It's a Democratic town, and it's a sanctuary town. And the mayor there, Brandon Johnson, is the most unpopular man in the United States. He has a 26% popularity rating. And, the crime there it ebbs and flows. It all depends what neighborhood you live in, whether you run into a crack dealer at 12 o'clock. We all know what happened to Smollett and people like that. They say they got mugged going to get a Subway sandwich at 3 in the morning, which you should, actually. But the thing is that Pritzker down in the state, the governor, he's running for president. Brandon Johnson's running for his political life. And the president would have to apportion those troops across 77 neighborhoods. 20 probably don't need to see any extra cops or anything. And Chicago has the third largest police force in the United States, 12,800 sworn officers. So, normally they're in control. But look, what do you do about a drive-by shooting? Now, your package with Rahm Emanuel, former mayor of Chicago, suggests that the problem is prosecution. Chicago has kind of a way of letting people back out on the street again. And so he's saying, the problem there is to come down hard on crime after you have arrested somebody.
Well, Rahm wants to run for president too, does he not?
Hey, look, in America, everybody wants to run for president. It's after Donald Trump, it makes, it's open house. I mean, everybody thinks they can do it. They think it's a reality show. And of course, in many ways, the presidency of the United States is a reality show. But look, the president wants to bring in troops. He wants to come down on ice, and it's a sanctuary city. Right. That is, cops and people there do not cooperate with the federal government, and he wants to do that. He's been doing that in New York City. So the president is beginning, or I'm saying he's continuing his retribution around the United States. He's going after individuals. Now he's going after cities, and this may be a little harder.
So
than
leads
John Bolton. This is hard.
That leads me to my next point, because it's already happened in California, DC, now maybe Chicago, New York, Baltimore. The common thread is that all these cities are in Democrat states, Joe. So is it a reminder that the Democrats are weak on crime?
Yeah, he wants to stick it to them. And keep in mind too, Pete, that in the United States, the governor and the mayor, particularly Los Angeles, the mayor of Chicago, it's a patronage city. If you want to be police chief, you're appointed by the mayor. Fire department, appointed by the mayor. All the jobs there are patronage jobs. So people who don't even like the Democrats tend to vote Democrat because they want to keep their jobs. But it's a very hard ask. And asking young people from Illinois to go in and to guard neighborhoods and wait for the next drive-by shooting, well, what's it going to solve? I think the president is performing here, and it's going to probably backfire. This all backfires sooner or later, because unless you have a real riot, these particular people are not necessarily necessary. But look, the president's made it very clear to the people who want to be president, I'm coming for you. I'm not waiting for you to come to me. So it's a real signal to them to pay attention.
Sure is. Joe Siracusa, our man on a Monday, also from Chicago, so he knows his stuff. As always, Joe, thank you so much. We'll chat again soon.